What is up, all my dorks, nerds, geeks, and gamers? It's your host, Ghost here, and I'm joined again with...
Nike Y43.
Welcome back to Dorkston Movie Minute. Today we are actually going to do our first review. It's been a long, long time since I've been to the movie theaters. The last time I was there was for Avengers Endgame, actually, which was in April of 2019. Yeah, I think so.
Has it already been out? Has it been out that long already?
I think so. Or was it 2020?
No, no, theaters were shut down. You know?
Yes, 2019. Yeah, it was 2019, April.
No, I think it was 2020. I think it was early 2021.
No, because March is when everything kicked in.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was 2019. All right, so that was the last time I was in the movie theaters. That was the last movie I saw with any friends or anything. So I decided, you know what? I saw this trailer for a movie called Nobody. I saw the Red Band trailer, and I was like, dude, this movie looks good. Like, it's been a long time since I've been hyped for a movie, and I got hyped over that movie. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna text my bro Nike over here, and we're gonna go out. We're gonna go see this
I
movie.
didn't. I didn't know anything about the movie when he told. I was just like, all right, bro, I'll be ready. And
So
then I think it was like on the way there. I was like, I'm gonna watch this trailer.
yeah, he didn't even watch the whole trailer either, because like he watched like 10 seconds of it. He's like, all right, we good.
I
We
was
good.
already like, I was like, nah, I got this. I'm in. Let's watch it. This is gonna be badass.
All right, but right off the bat, Bob Odenkirk, I'm gonna say for him personally, this is his one of his top performances ever. Like Better Call Saul, and then this, like him playing Nobody was amazing. On top of that, the supporting cast in this movie surprised me so much, like
Shout out to Christopher Lloyd.
so much. And before we even get started, I'm going to throw in a spoiler warning right here. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I'm sorry. This is going to be a spoiler-filled review, guys, because I mean that's how we are. We're going to talk about basically the whole movie. So yeah, let's hop right in. Here we go. It's about Nobody is a story about an everyday man. For the most part, he's a normal person, at least emotionally. He wants to have happiness. He wants to have a family. He wants to help others the best he can. He wants to have a normal life, or so he thought. Um, he starts off normal. As things slowly start to agitate him, his everyday life start to slowly get on his nerves, and he looks for more. He wants something more exciting, more um, exhilarating than being a dad and doing dad things and having a I don't want to say a loveless marriage, but a strained marriage, because they do love each other, but it does seem like there's some marital issues between the husband and wife.
Well, I mean, what it shows is really good. It shows an average, typical man in America working the average, 9 to 5. But I mean, he works for his father-in-law
Yeah,
and he works with his brother-in-law. So I mean, and it's just you could definitely tell like he's missing something. He's dead
yeah, he's
inside.
dead inside. Yeah,
It's just you can just tell he just hates his life. He misses the garbage every Tuesday.
every Tuesday, like
but then it but then it finally breaks and he wakes up at was it like early in the morning, like
yeah,
late, like the middle of the night, like
yeah,
around three
two
or
or three in the
four.
morning. Yeah, something like that.
And
There's a break-in.
well, he goes in, he checks on the kids, he checks in on his daughter first,
Yeah, yeah, yep,
all good.
yep.
Checks on his son, and his son's awake.
And he knows
And his
something's
son,
up.
yeah, and his son knows, and his son, like makes eyes, rolls down, and then
Yep,
dad shuts the door, goes rolling down the stairs, and kind of peeks his head, and he sees a light, and then we know there's people in there.
yep.
And
There's
then he
two
grab,
robbers. Yep.
and then he grabs a golf club, and then
Yes.
I'll let you finish it. You go ahead and finish this part.
But he's holding the golf club behind her back, and he decides he's not gonna swing. Um,
Yeah,
I
because
believe.
the son jumps after they have a confrontation. He's sitting there
Oh yeah,
talking.
yeah, yeah. Before that, yeah, she points the gun at his face. He takes a good look at the gun. He kind of examines it. Um, then yeah, that's when his son jumps on the guy. She turns around to shoot his son or whatever. Um, then the dad turns around with the golf club. He has, he's ready to hit her. He decides not
I
to.
mean, he's got her clean.
Yeah, done.
Because
One hit, and she
they're
would have
like
been
in the
done.
kitchen or whatever, and she's grabbing that chump change. Then
Yep.
that scuffle happens, and then she leaves him and goes around, and you got the gun, and he comes around the corner. He has the drop on her, and then he just doesn't. But the
Yep.
son sees this whole thing too.
Yeah. So
So
it's kind of a father-son dynamic where it's a proud thing. Is he proud of his father? Is the father proud of his son?
but like I said, even you say he's examining the gun. When he has the gun pointed at his face, he notices that the gun is empty.
Yes.
Because she's carrying a 38 special. If
Yes.
no one knows, that's a 6-shooter. It's the old
Yep.
and he notices that it's actually empty. So
And that plays into the movie later on. Once you learn his backstory and who he's worked for, what he does or whatever. But yeah, we're not gonna go over every story beat. We're not gonna tell you the whole movie, but we're gonna go over some scenes. Yeah, but then he's
well, I know we said spoilers, but for the most, like who he really is, I won't say anything about that.
yeah, I won't tell you
Because
because that's a main part of the movie.
yeah, and it's that I thought that was a really good like twist because it was a little different. Because like I said, the way when he describes it, and you're like, oh, I mean, it's true like evil. That's what it is. I'll just leave it at that. It's just true evil, and then you can watch it and you'll find out.
Yeah. All you gotta know is that like he's a badass. Like he's the most purest, toughest. He's the human cockroach. Like he can't be killed. Like no matter what you throw at him, no matter what you want to do to him, it's not gonna happen. So that's just all I'm gonna say. He's just a badass. But plot wise, he's got a father played by Christopher Lloyd who lives in a nursing home.
Yep.
Which didn't look like a nursing home. It actually looked like a regular house when he's actually in there because it was like he had furniture and everything and a closet and all that. So
Yeah, and then you show that he has it's a stiff relationship with his father.
yes,
It's just he's there. They're kind of watch TV. They're eating a microwave dinner.
yeah,
Or his dad's kind of talking to him like, "How's it going?" And he's just, "It's going, Dad." It's just very stale and dull. It's just, and then he
Yep.
just sleeps.
Yep. And you also find out he has a brother, an African American brother, half brother. Somehow, I don't know how they're related. It didn't really explain, but all you know is they love each other, they're family, and that's how it is.
They got each other's back. So.
Yes, and he talks to his brother on this radio, this UV radio, because I assume he's a military guy still. I assume his brother joined the military, some fashion it looked like, and may still be involved in some reason, or he's still involved in whatever organization or whatever they do still. But it never really explained that. But the brother is a character in the movie, and he does play a role towards the end and towards the beginning and middle of the movie as this radio voice that he talks to occasionally. So yeah, his brother is really the only one he talks to openly, and tells him how life really is going for him and everything, and he's the only one that's been there for him. So then after this, he gets his gun from his dad's. He goes to his dad's house. No. He realizes that the kitty cat bracelet is missing. And that was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. He was like, no, like, my daughter...
Because you can tell through the whole build-up, like, you can just see his stress build and build and build and build. And then he goes in the house after having a day.
Yep.
And it's after he had that conversation with his brother-in-law, he gives him a gun.
Yeah, hands him a gun.
He puts it in the freezer.
Yep.
And that actually plays a role later on.
Yep.
But yeah, but I remember he just gets home, and then was he? Oh yeah, he's watching his wife at the table, and the kids are getting ready for dinner and all that, and he just kind of takes a big.
Yeah.
Like he's just not wanting to do this.
Yeah, not a
Then
good day.
he walks in, and they're like kind of, just basic, normal, like, oh, how was school, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You can feel the tension between his son towards him.
Yep.
You can feel the whatever like resentment or whatever it is from his wife. You know, but his daughter is sunshine. She loves him,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
loves
yes.
him. And that's why. Then she mentions something about a kitty cat bracelet,
Being missing or whatever.
and he was like, "Well, where was it last at?" And she gives him this bowl, and it's the bowl that the thieves the other night took the chump change from.
Yep.
And now he's like, "Oh, so they have the kitty cat bracelet," and he's like, "What did she say?" Like his daughter said something like, "Can we get another one?" or "I need that," or whatever. And then
Yeah,
he's
something
like,
like
"Why?"
that.
He's like, "I'm gonna get it," and his wife's like, "Well, no, it's all right." He's like,
And then the door just
"No," like,
slams.
like he loses it for a second, and then he just leaves.
Yep. Then he's gone, and then
And
he's
then,
searching.
well, then he goes back to his dad's, and
Yes,
he
gets
gets
the
this
gun.
box, and then you see like this passport, some money, a gun, and he goes to turn around, and there's his dad. And his dad's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I gotta take care of something, pops." And he's like, "All right, son. Then you should
Just
probably go
get
take care of it."
home, take care of it. Yeah.
And as he walks out, Christopher Lloyd has a smirk on his face, and I'm like, "Oh, it's about to get good."
Yep.
This is when you actually know through the movie, you're like, "Oh, it's just about to be balls to the wall through the rest of the way."
Yes. Uh, okay, this leads us to a few tattoo shop encounters. I'm not going to spoil much because once again, it kind of gives away character things I don't want to spoil 100%. But it was, one scene was freaking sick in this tattoo shop, bro. This veteran, there's a
Yeah.
Vietnam veteran in the tattoo shop with him, and he was warning, he's like, don't be flashing that money, man. Like, don't, you're in the wrong spot of town for that, you know? And he tells him who he is or whatever, where he's from.
Oh yeah,
And the veteran,
because he
and the,
takes his dad's ID because
yeah, and
you
he's like,
find out his
that's,
dad was an FBI agent,
yes, yep.
and that's
And
what
he was
he's
like,
using.
that you in the picture. And he's like, oh, all right,
Because that
whatever.
veteran made it come, he goes, "That ID's about like 20 years old."
Yeah. But the veteran leaves once he finds out who he actually is, and he locks the door like 25, 30 times. Even,
It takes him like 5 minutes to
it's
lock
one
the
of the
door.
funniest scenes in the movie. Like I thought it was hilarious. It was great. He slams the little mirror, the window, in the door, and as it like that was just shows you character
This is where
wise.
like uh, Bob like had really good acting. Like because the veteran's giving him grief. Then there's the tattoo like shop owner, and then he's got like two of his tattoo buddies or whatever,
Bodyguards or
and they're
whatever.
all big,
Yeah.
except the veteran,
Yep.
and they're all kind of giving grief, and then he pulls out this wad of cash,
Yep.
and he looks at the owner, and the owner's like, "Hey, you better watch what you're doing with that," and he goes, "Well, don't you know?" And then he starts breaking down, and then this is when he gets like into his character.
Yeah.
And he goes, there's only three types of people. Like, when they whip out money like this, there's three different types of people. Ones who are scared, ones who are like, he'll flaunt it. He goes, and then there's the ones who are wishing someone would take it from him.
Yeah.
And I was
Exactly.
like, oh. And
Yeah.
he goes, I wish somebody would take it from me.
Yeah.
And it's like, everyone's kind of like, all right. But as he's doing that, they show a tattoo on his wrist, and that's what the
Yeah.
veteran catches.
Notices.
As soon as he sees it, he was like, "Thank you for your service," and then he's out.
Yep.
He cuts out
Locks the door.
this back door. Then he looks at that door and he's like, and he's
Done.
gone.
He's done.
And then
Great scene, though.
these dudes are like, "Oh,
Nah, we
well,
did.
what do you want?" And he goes, "Just point me in the direction of this." And I was like,
This
"Oh,
tattoo.
snap!"
Yep. So we get the confrontation. He gets to the house. He pulls a gun on him, hits the dude in the jaw.
Like you'll find out who the thieves really are.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you.
I
who they
mean,
were, but-
yeah, I mean, because it's a good. It's a good element to the story.
Yeah, but he gets there and he finds out the kitty cat bracelet is not there, or whatever. So whatever, he gives up on it. He says, "Screw this, I'm going home." He goes home. We cut to
It's
the Russian.
James-
I'm gonna call him
Oh,
the
yeah.
Russian. I don't know if he's actually Russian. I think he was. I think he was Russian actually.
I thought we cut it to. I thought he cut to him on the bus.
Yeah, we do. We go to the bus first,
Because
and then
that's when
then
he's like,
yeah,
isn't
then
he
it ties to
talking
the
to?
mission.
I think he's
Yes,
like talking to himself or whatever.
yes. Now the bus
It's
scene. If you guys saw the trailer, you thought it looked good in the trailer. The movie was so good, and it was like I'm gonna say 7 minutes of just pure chaos.
ass kicking.
Like it was nuts. Like
It's all it is. It's just ass kicking.
and I love it because it got progressively. It wasn't just bad from the get go. It got progressively more violent as it went on.
Literally, it's an ass kicking from one end of the bus to the other end of the bus, back to the front of the bus,
Yeah,
outside of the
the
bus,
bus.
to back inside the bus. Yeah.
Like
I
this
mean-
bus was. I've never seen a bus used in this capacity. Like Captain Marvel thought they did it good at that action scene in the bus. No, dude. Like this action scene
It was hilarious
was
because
awesome.
it just shows him sitting on this bus, and it just shows these random people sitting on the bus, you know, and it's
Yeah.
late at night, and he's sitting there, and he's, you know, he feels wrong, he's mad at himself, he's disappointed in himself, and all this other.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, you get to meet the suckasses
Yep.
in their little car, driving around drunk.
Yep. Hit the pylon.
Yeah,
with water.
they crash next to the bus.
Yep.
They get out and they want to get on the bus, but as they're like, I think it's as they're walking up, he's sitting there thinking to himself, like you're hearing it.
Yeah.
He's like,
His monologue.
I really hope that they get on this bus
She does.
because he's like, I'm gonna mess them up, and I'm like, I hope they get on this bus.
She's like, I hope they get on this bus, and they do. They get on the bus.
Yeah, the bus driver
he-
lets them on the bus.
One of the best. This is what I'm saying. Bob Odenkirk kills it. One of the best scenes in the movie. This smile comes across his face, and is the most genuine. Like he goes from disdain, sadness, to just pure happiness, just from them getting on this bus, because he knows that he's finally going to be able to unleash whatever he's wanted to be unleashing.
Yeah, because as they're getting on the bus, there's a female sitting
Yes.
there. She's probably in her, late teens, early 20s, I'd
Yep.
probably suspect.
Yep.
And these guys immediately see and feast, they're parasites. And then,
Yeah.
they're running other people off the bus and stuff. And then,
Yep.
Bob stands up and
Kicks the bus driver off her own bus. Out of here.
does he say something? No, he doesn't. He just
No,
walks.
don't say it. It's just
He
music.
walks just past him and stuff.
Smile on his
Gets
face
the
the
bus
whole
driver-
time.
He's grabs her phone, kicks her off, and she's like probably gonna dial 911 whatever.
Yeah.
And then he shuts the doors, puts her phone down, and then he turns around, and it's just like,
Go time, dude. He's
this
ready.
is gonna be amazing. Like whatever happens, there's no way this is not gonna be amazing. And whatever expectations that you have, they're higher.
Dude, it's good. It's
They
a good
deliver
scene,
beyond whatever you thought.
It's one of the best action scenes I've seen in a long time. And the thing is about action scenes is you watch them and you're like, man, I wish that was longer. This felt the perfect length. Like you go in over to one side, the next, out in and when you thought it was over, it drug on, but it wasn't a bad oh, this is dragging on. It was like, okay, yeah, this is what
It was like a
more,
good
more.
pause of just anticipation.
Yes.
And just you're waiting. You're just like, but it's feeling good. You can't wait, but you're just like, oh.
Yeah, but seriously,
Yeah.
okay, we got to move off the bus scene. But the bus scene is amazing, guys. If you
Yes.
see this movie just for that scene, I'm not gonna be mad at you, okay?
Yes, because the one thing about the bus scene is this is when you find out how truly badass
Yes,
his
Bob
character
Odenkirk
is.
yeah, like
That
he
you
can
just-
take on anything at any time. Like I said, he's a cockroach. You cannot kill the guy, no matter what you do to him. So,
So we move off the bus scene, and
all right.
yeah,
So then
well,
we
then-
cut to
he shows back up home
bloody, and his wife's there.
because he goes to walk up the stairs. His wife's like, "Hey, she's still downstairs." but the lighting, all you can see is like his hand. You can't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
see him.
See what's all messed
And
up.
I
Yeah.
still remember this part because I leaned over Ghost and I was like, I bet you he's gonna be covered in like all this blood.
Yep.
He comes walking down and he just naturally walks into the light and he's like, hey.
Yep.
And he's like, it's been a rough one.
Yep.
And she's just like, I can see that.
Yep. And this kind of reveals that she and him are kind of, they know, they have an understanding.
This is when you really start to
his
know like he has
past.
he has a hidden past.
Yes, of his history and who he is. But yeah, they have an understanding or whatever. She's not mad at him. She actually is kind of supportive. Like in a lot of the ways, she's a very supportive character.
Yeah, because like what you find about his character is the only thing I will give you is that what you find out in his story and in his deep is that he's an auditor.
Yes.
And what you think an auditor is not what they
No, not what
in
this
this
is.
movie.
Yes. We get to the Russian. We gotta hurry up quick because it looks like my battery's getting low. But I mean, I can plug it in, but.
But
I
yeah,
gotta,
no,
like, turn it
then they
But-
introduce the antagonist.
The Russian guy shows up. He's connected to the bus scene. His nephew or whatever was one of
Brother.
the guys in the bus who got beat to a pulp.
Yeah.
But I won't tell you, like you said, we won't tell you everything that happens on the bus. But there's still even more stuff we could talk about on that bus that happened. That was
Yeah,
nuts.
but like basically he messes all the dudes up on the bus.
Yes,
And then they introduce
the main
this-
protagonist.
like I said, he's the one that
He sends.
he's a Russian. He's in
Yes.
charge of the
A
like the
big
mafia's
gang.
mania,
Yeah,
the Russian mafia and stuff. And that's what he's very wealthy. He owns like a nightclub. You know, it's just
Yes.
he's one of those typical.
he's your typical Russian gangster.
Yeah.
lead. He sends his men after Bob Odenkirk's character, nobody, I guess I can call him. But
Well, that's when they still have to even find out who he is.
yeah,
Because he goes to the hospital and starts beating that dude with that chair.
yeah.
I forgot about that. See where he just walked through the lobby and grabs the
Everyone
chair.
was like, "What?"
And we're like, why is he just grabbing a chair?
He just-
Then immediately, he yeets this chair in this dude's face. And I was like, this
He
is
does.
amazing.
Throws it straight in his face and then beats the crap out of him with it. This dude's
But-
already in a hospital bed. This
But
dude's-
they end up getting his bus card or whatever. And then
Yeah,
they're
then
trying
they
to
try
find
tracking
out
him
who
down.
he is. Because he makes a reference where he goes, how can you spot a wolf in sheep clothing? So he's already known like there's something more. When he just found out it was one guy that, kicked the crap out of all his boys.
Yep.
But-
Then the lady finds out who he is by scanning the bus card, and she's like, "No, I'm out." She leaves. She's like, "This is too much."
Oh yeah, she was like,
So
yeah,
I'm
because she
done
throws him all
right
the
away.
information on me. She goes, no charge.
Yep.
And she was like, I had nothing to do with this, and she's out.
Yeah, she's done.
So already, you're like, okay, so whoever he is, I mean, like, people
Yeah,
know not to with these people.
So he ends up sending his men to his house to attack him and try to kill him or whatever. They're
Yeah,
in the middle
well-
of yeah,
Yeah, because while they're getting ready to have lunch, because in the meantime, he
family dinner. Yeah,
basically his life's been rejuvenated after this.
Yep.
He's on cloud 9 right now.
yeah. He's
Well, not
happy,
cloud
he's
9.
smiling.
It's improving.
Yes.
And then, well, the Russians show
Yeah.
up.
Then they send in the Russians. Actually, hold on. Let me. You keep talking for a second because I got to plug this in. I don't want this to die on me.
Well, the Russians start coming to his house, like he sees them coming from down the street, and he gets his family into his panic room. He puts them in the basement, and has his panic room, and then he shuts the power off, and then he proceeds to go on like just every action scene in this movie was badass.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like
saying.
in the essence of the word of badass. I
Yeah.
mean.
And he uses a baseball bat to take on like a bunch
The
of
very,
these dudes.
the very first two he takes out is with
Dude.
this ball bat,
and then
and the way he does it, you're just like, oh, like it makes you hurt. You're just like, damn.
yeah, the
like,
action scenes are violent, like John Wick level. Like I mean, there is a creator of John Wick attached to this, so there is.
yeah, he's one of the
of
producers.
John Wick. But you can feel that influence, but it's not a copycat way. It takes the formula and it makes it its own. Like it totally feels like it should belong in this movie. But it is ultra violent, like broken bones. The
Yeah.
stabs are really violent. Um, there's just some brutal stuff in this movie that, I mean, it's not bad, but per se, but it's just just a warning. Just it's
Yeah,
very
it's.
brutal and bloody at some
I mean,
points.
like, there's some like graphic content, but like, yeah, it's just the best word is brutal.
Yes.
That's like
So I
when you
think
watch
that's
it, you're like, damn, that's an ass whooping. That's what that is.
And then I think that's all we're really going to tell you about the plot from there, because I mean, it gets spoiler territory from there on out towards the
Like
end.
really deep, and then it's like, yeah, we don't want to touch this.
Yeah, we
But
don't
like
want to
that,
touch that.
yeah,
But
there's their typical Russian
yes,
gangster person, but like
yep.
it's that's the yeah, that's probably the only part that I didn't actually like about the movie. Like it's not totally bad, but
The
it's like yeah,
character was kind of
they
cliche.
went
Yeah,
they went cliche, and then it like the story to me with him and Bob's character was just it felt like it was rushed and
disconnected. Yeah, it
it
was
was kind of a
disconnected.
little flat because
Yeah,
all of a sudden it's like the bus scene and
and then it
he
goes right
messed his brother
away.
up and
Yep.
then all of a sudden it's him and then all of a sudden it's like they're killing each other and it's like wait what
Yeah.
like that part that's the only probably critique the rest of it I thought it was great.
Yeah, the
Christopher
action
Lloyd,
scenes
oh
are
my god, I love
like the action scenes are amazing. The writing is I thought the writing felt that's the thing is the writing was like it wasn't amazing, but it felt real. Like the characters interacted in real ways. Like when they were getting hit,
yeah.
when they were uh speaking their emotions, like the discomfort between him and his wife. Like you felt that on the screen. The father son dynamic and the daughter father dynamic, you felt
Yeah,
all
I
the
mean,
different
yeah,
things.
they had quite a few different like sub plots and stories going on,
Yep.
and it would like I said, the only one it was just between him and the Russian. That's the only one that kind of falls from me.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Everything else, yes,
Yep.
I thought it
um
was pretty good.
One surprise scene was the Christopher Lloyd action scene. I didn't think he was going to see any action. I'm not going to spoil it at all because it is one of the highlights of the movie. Like it builds up and it delivers. But he does get an action scene.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd actually gets a good
Two.
amount of screen time for
Yeah.
this, and then majority of his screen time is it's action. Like
Yeah.
and like I said, I'm a huge Christopher Lloyd fan. So I love from Back to the Future, Page Master,
I am as
all the
well.
way back to
Yep.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest when he very first movie he ever played in with
He
Jack
did great in
Nicholson.
this.
So
I loved him. He's an awesome
so
father figure. He played that role great.
yeah, I
Um,
I was excited for Christopher Lloyd. So
oh, and I'm looking forward to him in the future. If this becomes a franchise as well, because they did tease something at the very end there.
I'm behind it 100% if they do. I
But
mean,
the very okay, but let's talk about the very end. Then we'll give our final verdicts. So the very end of the movie, I thought was very like I've never seen this ending done in a movie. It was very unique, very ballsy, but very true to character as well. Like it all
yeah.
fit perfectly. And I was like, so this is awesome. This is great. Uh,
It's not the typical like riding off into the sunset ending that you're expecting.
no, no, but it
Because the
works.
sunset's a little f***ed up.
Yeah,
But
right.
it sets. That's the thing,
Uh,
it sets.
Before we give final verdicts, I do have to mention this movie is very funny. Like as a comedy in itself, it is very funny. Like they had some very funny moments in this movie, and it was a good blend of funny and action.
Yeah, and the chemistry with the characters.
The
Like you said, even
cast,
though
yeah,
it had them and the Russian, even though the story was kind of when they were on screen together, it was good.
it was a very
Like
good movie.
the dinner table scene that you guys will end up seeing. That's a really good scene to watch. I like
Yes.
that scene.
So I'm gonna go first. My final verdict is I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I do really like it. Like I went into it having high expectations. Coming out of it, it met every single one of those expectations for what I was looking for. Just a popcorn flick action movie with some emotion behind it, something that drove the story plot a little deeper. I love what they set up for a sequel, if we ever get a
Yeah.
sequel. So that's awesome that they are keeping that door open, and it looks like all the cast members that were involved in this one would gladly come back and do a sequel. So hopefully that happens. But I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. What do you got?
Yeah, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10
Nine
for
out
the
of 10.
simple fact that when we went and seen it, I didn't know anything about it, and I watched like 20 seconds of the trailer, and then we went in, and after we walked out, I was like, I'm buying this movie as soon as it comes out. I'm gonna make sure everyone watches it. I'm gonna recommend it to people because
It's a good
it
franchise. It's a good
yes
start.
it's a good comedy act. No, it's a really really good comedy action movie.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
Like I said, like the action scenes are authentic. Like I said, they're
Hmm.
brutal, but they feel authentic too.
Yeah, they felt
They're
real. They're
not
not over
cheesy
the.
or
They're
anything.
not Fast and Furious car and a rope
Yeah,
swinging.
and it's not like Bob's character's just trucking through people too. Like he takes
Yeah,
his
he
fear
takes
licks and some
hits.
ass
Yeah,
whippings too.
yeah, he gets hit. He's not John Wick. That's what I'm saying. Like John Wick can just go through and kill everyone and not have a scratch. No, this dude gets hit. He gets shot. He gets punched. He gets stabbed. Everything you could think of. Like not kidding. Everything you
And
could think of.
and then when it's all over between him and the Russian, the way that goes out, I have never seen that in a on screen.
Me neither. That's what I'm saying. It's the
And
most
I'm
unique
talking
thing.
about from like live action to animation to whatever, still photography. I don't care what. I've never seen this done, and I was like, hats off, because I was like, that was good. That was
Yeah,
good.
it was amazing, guys. So I highly recommend you guys go check it out. Thank you so much for joining us on this our first review, 9 out of 10, first movie review for Nobody. Bob Odenkirk, awesome job, director. I'm not sure who directed it. Unfortunately, I didn't check it out, but you guys did a good job. Universal, you guys have a new franchise in your hands. Um, and I believe Universal owns John Wick as well. So if you want to do some crossovers, I'd be down for that as well. But yeah, make sure you leave your comments down below what you guys think of at Dorkston Movie Minute, what kind of movies you want to see us review next. Because hey, movie theaters back to being open. They're starting to get back
Yeah,
to the flow of things.
but
So let us know
yep.
what you want us to see, and maybe we'll go check it out and give our thoughts and opinions on it. Um, Thank you so much, Nike, for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And as always, keep it right here on Dorkston. I've been your host, Ghost, joined with
Nike.
Adios, guys.
So, yeah.